Hey, this is Dan from userspice.com, and I have placed about 400 orders for myself and for work on AliExpress. And if you look at my order screen here, I'm not going to share the whole thing with the order numbers, but you can see that it goes up to page 39 worth of orders. And my first order with AliExpress was actually only 2 years ago. In fact, less than 2 years ago. That fateful day was June 28th, 2017. And since then, I've learned a thing or two, and I want to share those tips with you. The first thing I want to share with you, I buy a lot of electronics through AliExpress, and so you'll see we have this typical Arduino board that's a good bit cheaper than you can get from Amazon. And so if you come on here and you add just one more of them, you'll see that shipping went from free to $2.69. But the upside is that your shipping time went from 45 days to 25 days. So almost 3 weeks faster. So tip number one is to play around with the shipping. I have a few games I play. So let's say I need just one or two of these and I don't care how fast I get them. Let's say I need three of them and I don't care how fast I get them. I'll actually order this three separate times. I'll buy it now, buy it now, buy it now, and then they'll just get here when they get here. But if I'm ordering 10 of them, sometimes it makes sense to go to a place and now all of a sudden that shipping is $3.64, so I'm adding 36.4 cents to each of these items, which is pretty much nothing, and I'm going to get it here 3 weeks faster. So it's your job when you're shopping AliExpress to play around with the difference between getting something quickly and getting something cheap. The next one we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of these DuPont jumper wires, which I use a lot when I'm building electronics. This tip is really easy. If you look in here and you see you can get 20 wires for 49 cents and you can get 40 for 61 cents. So there's a lot of times that it makes sense to just look in here and play with the quantity before you actually start playing with this quantity. Now, when you look at this, you'll see that right now we're paying 61 cents and free shipping. And if I jack this up to 8, I'm still going to get free shipping. But if I hit 9, all of a sudden shipping jumps to $3.37 and we're back down to that 25-day period. Now, the deal with that is that the Chinese government is subsidizing shipping. I mean, if you think about it, there's no way you could manufacture and ship these things all the way around the world for 61 cents. And so, but the one thing is as soon as you hit $5, these things need to be shipped by a method that's trackable, which ups the cost, which ups your cost. And so it's another one of those things. If you don't care, order, 2 sets of 8 of these, and try to keep your order below $5. Now, the next thing is sometimes it is cheaper to buy hundreds of something rather than buying 5 locally. Now, we do have a Radio Shack around somewhere, and there's a really cool electronics place called Skycraft down the street, and I'm really glad those places are there. But when you look at it, 5 resistors locally are $2, and that's a lot of money. And so you could come over here and do something like this. Let's see, this one has free shipping. So for $2.78, or actually just this one looks a little cheaper if I back up over here. So you're $2.60. You can come in here and you can get 600 resistors sent to you in all kinds of sizes and things like that. Or you could come in here and just, let's see, if I click on this one, I could buy for 53 cents instead of $2. For 53 cents, I could buy 100 of the same resistors. So basically, for the same cost of buying 5 in America, I could buy 200 of them, 400 of them overseas. And so, in my mind, there's times that I just want to support the local people, but you pay a very heavy tax by not being prepared and having this stuff early. Okay, my third tip is a little hard to show you on here, but it is that things may be cheaper on the app. If I bring up this exact thing on the app, this same thing that is $5 or $8.28 comes up as $8.19 on the app. Now, again, 9 cents is not that big of a difference, but just understand that although it's a ton easier to shop and compare AliExpress stuff on a desktop, you may wind up getting a better deal if you buy it on the app. The next thing I want to show you is that reviews do not matter. you may be used to checking out all the reviews on Amazon and just reading through and seeing what people have to say, but reviews on AliExpress basically mean nothing. Now, I decided to pick on an American person here. They bought this drone, and it says, the batteries, it doesn't. The batteries don't work. You can't charge it. I contacted. I didn't hear back. So I have no use for it. And I'm going to give you 4 stars. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. In America, we'd be calling the manager, all that stuff. If this was some kind of local store, we'd be freaking out. But this guy says he's an American, but for the most part, the Russian and Chinese people are so much nicer than we are in America. Like, we would be trashing this company if we're an American. They're like, the camera's terrible. This doesn't work. It came late. It came, damaged or whatever. But it's unsteerable. It has a mind of its own, but 4 stars. And so the reviews don't matter. Now, I will say this. If something has a bad review, if something has a bunch of bad reviews, go ahead and trust that, because in general, the reviews are skewed to be so dang positive on AliExpress that they're pretty much useless. Now, the next thing is that I don't recommend buying consumer electronics. So if you were to put cell phone, I have had the worst problem. Let me stop for a second. I have placed almost 400 orders on AliExpress, and I went back and checked, and I've had disputes on less than 10 orders, and one of them was a whole bunch of things I ordered individually that I just never got. They were like 60-cent silicone wedding rings. But for the most part, whenever I catch a good deal on a phone or something big like one of these K40 laser things, if I order it, it doesn't ship or I have problems with it. I've never really had problems with the small stuff. All the Arduino boards work. All the shields work. I mean, every once in a while I'll order something with a, that'll have a little screen on it, like a little Arduino shield, and the shield will come cracked, and, I tell them, and they tell me to keep it, and they refund my money. But when it comes to the big stuff, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a really good deal on a 3D printer or a heat press or some type of machinery like this, and they either don't ship or arrive damaged. But the little stuff you're really good on. But this kind of stuff, buy it from eBay, buy it from Amazon, buy it from somewhere local, but don't buy this kind of stuff from AliExpress. And not to mention, you can get this for I think $500 cheaper right now on eBay or Amazon. Okay, and the last thing is returns. One of the reasons why I tell you not to buy this kind of stuff on AliExpress is because if there was a problem with this, you would not want to ship this giant box back to China. Now remember, they're getting subsidized super cheap shipping. You would be paying full American or wherever you're from shipping, and that would be ridiculous. So that's one reason not to order. But when I have had to do returns or when I have had a complaint that something didn't arrive, it's actually been super easy. They'll say, hey, how much money do you want back? And I'll say, I paid $4. I want $4 back. And my favorite thing is that they make you take a picture. It's required that you take a picture to explain that something didn't arrive. So I almost always upload a black graphic, like a black JPG file, that this is a picture of the item I received. And you know what? Like a day or two later, they refund my money and all is well in the world. So, every once in a while you'll get something with a little cracked screen or something like that, but for the most part, I've never had an item come in and actually not work. So don't be afraid of the returns. It's not that big of a deal. I've never had to ship an item back to China. Buy small stuff, buy it in small orders, and give it a shot. I hope these tips have proven helpful to you. If you don't mind subscribing, click that little bell. It really helps me out as I'm trying to build the channel. Thanks for your time.